In this video, my buddy Cody's going to take us through a beginner pressure washing setup all the way through to the most expensive trailer build and everything in between, so that way you can make an informed decision when it comes to picking out which equipment you're going to start your business with. And if you stick around to the end, Cody's also going to be sharing with you the pros and cons of each setup and which one's going to be right for you and your situation. But Southeast Soft Wash and Quote IQ have teamed up to give away an Easy Max soft wash system in about a week to somebody who's a premium, platinum, or ultimate subscriber of Quote IQ. All you have to do is be an active subscriber and click the first link in the comment section and the description to register. And if you need help keeping up with customers, sending estimates, invoices, or collecting payments, you can try any tier of Quote IQ right now for $1 at myquoteiq.com, which I'll leave linked in the comment section and the description. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So Cody, take us from that entry level equipment, and let's kind of walk through all the way to the top where the bells and whistles are and all the good stuff.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna have to carry my laptop around, y'all, and try to make do with the camera. I know it's a little janky, and I'll try to stay in frame, but I'm gonna walk around in the shop here a good bit. We've got a trailer here behind me. We'll end with that, but let me go upstairs to our mezzanine area. So this is where we build our pressure washers. We build all of our pressure washers in-house, and I wanted to show you guys sort of where you could start at. Right, so this is where most of us start, guys. This is a 4 gallon a minute machine. This is bigger really than what most people start with. Most of us started with whatever our dad had in the garage, right? And we just grabbed it and made some side money in the summer. And most of those rigs are going to be around a 2.5 gallon a minute, maybe a 3 gallon a minute. Depends on how bougie your dad was. And they'll get the job done. This is sort of your first level of commercial grade pressure washer that we could say is for pro use. You're sort of getting out of that prosumer and getting into a real pressure washer here. This is going to run you less than $2,000, probably $1,300 to $1,500. It's a 13 horsepower ish engine. Depends on who builds it. This one is a Vanguard Briggs and Stratton. These are really solid engines. We fool around with Kohlers. We're a Honda dealer as well, so they're all the same engine, guys. They put out the same torque and horsepower specs. So that size engine will power lots of different things, tillers, pressure washers, lots of doodads out there. This is on a 4 gallon a minute pressure washer pump. This is a Cat brand. Tons of pump companies out there as well. So they all basically work just fine. The negative here is it's 4 gallon, which is a lot to a homeowner. It's not a lot in our world. It'll still get the job done. The other negative is this is direct drive. So that means that the pump is mated directly to the shaft of the engine coming out. So whatever RPMs this is running, the pump is running the same RPMs. And these usually don't prime as good. You can't really tank feed them as reliably. And you do get a lot of heat transfer from the engine over here to the pump itself. But this will do tons of work, man. I made multiple 6 figures, for many years. And Justin, I know you fooled with these style as well. Pull around carts, right? So you really just need that and a way to downstream, apply bleach, and off you go. You're into the game. So $2,000, you can grab you a tank. I know a lot of guys use the square totes that you can find on Facebook Marketplace. I've got a tank up here. This is just a little tank we use for research and development stuff. Let's spin it. Yeah, so this has got crap bolted to it, just pumps that we're playing around with. But just any really 100-gallon tank, 275-gallon tote, just be careful that you get one that it hasn't had a bunch of crap in there that's going to take forever to get all that residue out. But off you go. You're off to the races. A small trailer. You can even put some of that stuff on the back of a truck. Just be careful. Water's heavy. You don't want to overload your truck. But that's sort of the beginning place to start at. If you're within a few $100s of getting a 2.8 gallon a minute pressure washer, and you can save up and be $300 away from a 4, Justin, you can kind of attest to that. That's a big jump in performance going from that kind of rinky dinky to, back into a real rig like that.
Right. I was just about to make the point. There's only one step lower than this, and it would be that, Home Depot Lowe's pressure washer. So, Cody, the biggest difference between those two, what would you say that is? Just the time it saves you?
Yeah, you're going to see a huge increase in job time. So a common misconception, guys, is that PSI is what we're looking for. We don't care about PSI. You can change the tips out here, right, and change your PSI. So we can manipulate PSI with this. We don't care about that. We're looking for gallons per minute. That's what's going to translate to getting the job done quicker, which means more money in our pocket. So 4 gallon a minute is really where you'd like to start at. If you can pick, if you've got the budget, you can start a little bit bigger than that and really not have something you're going to outgrow immediately. We have a lot of guys that'll get a 4, and by the end of the spring, they're already trying to go bigger because it's easy to outgrow a 4 gallon. So yeah, GPM is what we're concerned with.
Right. And I will make this point. It's incredibly important that you guys get out there and test your business first before you jump in and, buy the biggest equipment that you can from some perspectives, learning the marketing, learning the pricing, learning a couple different things. Because I think sometimes people bite off more than they could chew.
Yeah, we're in a low threshold of entry industry, and so you can get into it, fairly easily. Now, some of this equipment is still pretty expensive, but my granddad was a logger. I always go back to this example. The equipment that he bought, one machine could be $250,000. And so not many people are going to go buy that on the spur of the moment and then be like, well, I couldn't make a go of it. They're really going to know that they're going to be a logger, or they're cutting industrial timber, big tracts of timber. So keep it in perspective. If you don't think you can sustain it, don't go spend $35,000 on a rig. We have $35,000 rigs, but if you don't need that and you're just playing around, Weekend Warrior, we've got equipment for that guy as well. And just make it make sense in your business plan.
Beautiful. So if this is number one, Cody, what would be the next step up from that 4 gallon a minute?
All right, so I'm up in the pressure washing skunk house, right? This is where we do all kinds of mischief. This is a 5 gallon a minute machine on a cart. All right, so not a cart. The other one was a cart. That's a cart, Cody. You're an idiot. That's a cart. This is on a skid mount platform. So this is going to get mounted on one of our pressure washing skids. It's kind of confusing because that aluminum base we call that a skid, and we call the thing it's going to go on a skid. But this is a 5 gallon a minute. So let me set the laptop down and see if I can get the angle right. I know the laptop's a little goofy, guys, but it's what I've got here that does not have a dead battery. So now what you'll notice is we're using the same size engine. So this engine has plenty of displacement to run either a 4 gallon, a 3 gallon, a 5 gallon. This is the biggest thing that we're going to put on this size engine, but that's not a guesswork. All right. I want that to be kind of understood is there's math to this. It's not like Cody just said it would work on that. No, the pump has specifications and the engine has specifications. So we know that this is sort of the upper end range that this V-twin, and this is a very proven engine style. Most everybody out there is going to wish they had a Honda. Honda has done a tremendous job in the marketing of making us think that that's the sort of cream of the crop. But the truth is these Vanguards, the Kohler engines, they're all based on the same design, and it's a great design. And so imitation being the sincerest form of flattery, a lot of these parts are even interchangeable with Honda. So the engine, we like this V-twin 13 horse motor is sort of like an anvil. You can't tear that thing up, and no matter what the brand is. So we're stepping up here to quite a bit bigger pump. This is a 5.5 gallon a minute, 3,500 PSI pump, but you'll notice the big difference here, other than the pump being a whole 1.5 gallons more per minute, you've got this gizmo in the middle here, and that is a gearbox. So this engine is not mated directly to the pump. You've got something in the middle. This is sort of like a transmission here in the middle. It's a mechanical drive. So the engine's turning this set of gears. This set of gears is turning the pump. And that's going to be really, honestly, if you just came and asked me and told me that you had the money, this is where I'm going to send you. This is Goldilocks for me, for what we do. I send most of our customers here, and I tell them to just get a 5.5 again, because you're not gonna outgrow that as quickly as you're going to outgrow this cart here, that 4 gallon, because it is a 5.5. It's got pretty good flow. It's not an 8 gallon a minute machine, but it's not small by any means. It'll do plenty of work. And with that gear drive mechanism, now we can reliably tank feed this thing. And so that's what you really want. You don't want to be obligated to hook a hose to that pressure washer every time. You want to be able to just tank feed it. You backfill your tank. That's the way to go. So big step up from a 4 to a 5.5. Most guys can make all the money they ever need to make with a 5.5 pressure washer.
So that's what you said, Goldilocks, Cody. That's what you recommend. That's going to get the most stuff done. And like you said, people are going to outgrow that 4 way faster than they will the 5.5.
Right. And let me caveat that, because I'm saying that from the perspective of the overall cleaning industry, right? A 5.5 is going to be the sweet spot, unless, here's the caveat, you're going to do a bajillion square feet of flat work a year, and that's your business model. And so if you plan on running a surface cleaner 5 hours a day, let's go ahead and get an 8 gallon. I've got an 8 gallon over here as well. But that's not what we do. We wash a lot of houses, we clean roofs. The concrete cleaning is kind of my last thing. There's actually 2 8 gallons. The flat work is my least thing that I want to do. So the 5 gallon is fine. Like, it's plenty. It's not a bunch of money. It's not a bunch of maintenance. If you're going to go for a bunch of flat work, then this is where this makes sense. Go ahead and get an 8. What I see online, and I cannot stand it, is everybody says, oh, you got to have an 8 gallon a minute. No, you don't. Depends on the business model. If you're going to do a bunch of roof cleaning and a bunch of house soft washing, then this is absolutely overkill, right? It'll do it. It's fine, but it's not like you're going to change your world by going from a 5 to an 8, because the thing you're going to go do doesn't even care about that. If you're going to go do a lot of flat work, guys, go ahead and beef up to an 8 gallon. You'll never outgrow an 8 gallon a minute machine. This is sort of the F250 of the world. The 5.5 gallon a minute over there is sort of your F150 of the world. And then that little 4 gallon is sort of like your Ford Ranger. And that's the best way to look at it. Again, make these business decisions based on what you're going to do with that piece of equipment, and not just what people online told you, right? Because you can drop, a lot of money on these systems. And if you don't have a reason to have that performance, then it's just wasted performance. You don't need it.
Right. We get into the debate of which washer is the best one to go with for guys to start their business. And I think you gave a great analogy with regards to the F-150, the Ranger, and the F-250. F-250 probably is a little bit much. Ranger, you're going to, meet some situations that you can't necessarily do as quickly or as well.
Right. I'm the king of analogies. Aaron tells me all the time, but it's good, but it's a good analogy. I've had an F-250. I don't pull cattle trailers every day. I really didn't need it. It was a nice truck. I've got an F-150 now. Me and Justin have the same truck, and it's fine. Like, it does 99% of what I need it to do. So it's like, it's fine. So just be picky with your pressure washer selection, unless you've just got endless money. All right. If you got endless money, this is not for you. If you're trying to be tactical with your spend, then that's what we're talking about.
Okay, excellent. Now, as far as the next step up, Cody, well, I guess the steps really are, 4, 5.5, 8. What about doing a skid versus a trailer? Where does that kind of fall in line with the progression of beginner to pro?
So with these machines, you can add a downstream device. Everybody knows what that is. You got your downstreamer, and off you go. Now you can clean flat work. You get you a surface cleaner, and you can wash houses. But the thing you can't do is really get into roof cleaning. Let me go back downstairs. And roof cleaning is a lot of money. It's my favorite thing in the world besides a ribeye. Roof cleaning. If I could only do one thing forever, it would be cleaning roofs, because it's tremendous money. It's very easy work. So you can't do that with a pressure washer, because you can't get the strength of chemical that we need because of that downstream injector being limited. So what we've got here is a mini skid. This is one of our mini pros. So it's got a pressure washer on there. I know the camera's crazy, but there's our 5.5 gallon a minute pressure washer. All right. So it's got Goldilocks on here. It's tank fed. It's got all that. So now we're good to go on the power washing side. And we've also got a soft wash system. That's what all that right there is. You've got your pump, hose reel, batteries in there, blend manifold here on the side to control all of that, tanks to hold the chems. And so if you want to get into full-time washing, you're kind of doing two things. You're doing a lot of power washing, and you're doing some soft washing. And so that type of a skid system there allows you to do both of those things. Let me set the laptop up here. And that's the common misconception, is guys think they can get a pressure washer and do everything. That's not the case. You can't get a strong enough chemical yield out of that pressure washer. So you kind of have to have two things. And if you can put them on one platform like that mini skid, then it's just a great design, because you've got everything you need on one little platform there. So that makes sense, hopefully.
No, absolutely. We got the mini skid. Stepping up from the mini skid, I guess, does the tank sizes get bigger? The washer sizes get bigger, right?
Right. So here in the background, this is our flagship model. All right. So this would be our F-150. It's so weird because when I move, it's backwards. This is our F-150 on the skid system. So the mini skid's got a 50-gallon water tank, 50-gallon bleach tank, a soap tank, and a pressure washer. This one has a 100-gallon water tank, a 100-gallon bleach tank. It's also got the ladder rack on there, and some more options for pumping systems. We can put larger hose reel capacities and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to outgrow that for a long time. It'll go do all kinds of pressure washing and all kinds of soft washing, ladder rack space to put your surface cleaner and all that stuff. So this is our most popular unit, just like the F-150 is the most popular truck in America because it kind of does everything.
Okay, excellent. So I would assume the one before it was the Ranger. Do we have an F-250 of skid builds?
No, I've got this. So this is the F2. There's my air compressor running for no reason in the shop.
That's all
I'm
good.
sure that's pretty loud, but so this is our trailer build, and it's you've got a 200-gallon water tank, you've got a 100-gallon bleach tank back there, a 30-gallon surfactant tank. With the trailer, you just got more capacity to hold water. We can put an 8-gallon a minute on the trailer, and with that 200-gallon water tank, you're never going to run out of water. You've got enough standoff, right? You've also got, it's just easier to work off of with a trailer. Everything is sort of waist height. So the trailer is kind of your F-250. That's what that is for. If you guys are going to go do big commercial stuff, you'd rather have a trailer. That way you can actually put a hot water system. This is an 8-gallon cold water here, but we've got hot water systems that go here and all kinds of fancy stuff, big water reclamation things that go on there as well. Most guys don't need that. We're just too honest at Southeast. We don't try to sell stuff that you don't really need, and most guys don't need the trailer. The trailer is our least seller because it is the most expensive. But there are definitely guys out there that need a trailer. Like their business model says, yes, I need a trailer, and I'm going to go make a ton of revenue with that trailer. So, just you have to weigh those options out.
Right. So for somebody who needs this trailer, Cody, you'd say it was somebody who's already been in business or they're doing big commercial properties. Like, what's kind of the parameters around?
And even a new guy, as long as he's confident that the trailer is basically 10 more grand than the price of that Alumimax over there. So, you got to make sure that you've got the type of work that is going to justify that purchase. Now, again, if you got tons of money, there goes the air compressor. Shut up, air compressor. I'm doing a video here. If you've got tons of money and some guys just want to pull a trailer because they know they can disconnect from that thing at any point and free their truck up. They don't like the idea of having their truck with a skid on the back all the time. So there's an angle there. If they're running crews like Mike, one of our members of the Core 4, me, Aaron, Justin, and Mike. Mike's got crews. He's not going to run a skid because now it's just better to have employees with a trailer that they can disconnect and use on multiple trucks. So there's an angle to that. And really a lot of flat work is going to dictate trailer use because you can get, it's backwards. You can get a much bigger, there it is, water tank. We could put a huge water tank on here. It's just that we found that water tank is about right. You don't really need anything bigger than 200 gallons, and that's plenty of water. So it's still an easy trailer to pull around town. It's not like you're pulling, the Bismarck around town. It's not that big of a trailer. So yeah, these are just options, guys, and hopefully these options make sense. I've wasted a lot of money before on equipment because it was shiny and it was cool. I will give you guys a sneak peek. Is that cool? We can do a sneak peek.
Of course, we love sneak peeks.
Justin, check this out. So we've got this Alumimax here. We've sold so many of these. Like I said, that's our flagship model. Here's another one. We finished up this one and this one today. Those will be wrapped up in the morning. But this is going to be our Gen 2 Alumimax Pro right here. So there's some major changes here. Our shelves are full-length shelves. Never been an issue for me. We just had a lot of requests for that. We got some cool stuff going on back here. We've got a smart stream and electrical cabinet. This one's still got a 5-gallon, but now we can slap an 8-gallon on here. We get requests for that. Guys don't need it, but, the market says, so I'll give them what they want. Pressure, soft wash, soft wash. So this is kind of a brand new skid. We're not selling these yet. This is our shop skid for us to use. Ladder rack is removable, so it's pretty cool there. We'll use that one for our use, and we'll be rolling those out in January. So those will be phasing out the Alumimax of that model right there. And it'll be going to that new variant. So this year we're coming up on 400. I think we're just shy. We're going to probably be just shy of 400 pieces of equipment that we've sent out of here by the time we get to December 31st. So that's a lot of units, and we're just always making changes and making things better.
Before I let you go, I know you're probably gonna have to run here soon. Run us through as far as what price points are. Like if you have less than $2,000, if you have maybe like less than 10 grand, less than 20, and then
Right.
if you can.
Well, and you know this because you've done what I've done a bunch of times. You can sort of think you're going to be at 2,500, and you might as well almost double that by the time, if you're talking about building it yourself, by the time you get all the hoses and stuff, that stuff adds up pretty quickly. So really, if you can, like, 2,500 bucks, go to the pawn shop, get a pressure washer. It's probably fine. It'll make it a season. Get you a tank, get you some hoses, and off you go. So that's your $2,500 setup. And the thing you really want to spend money on there is the washer. Get that 4-gallon. Who cares what the tank looks like? It's just got to hold water, right? Get you some hoses. You don't need hose reels. You can look. I did this for years, right? Wrap up hoses and throw them on the back of the truck. It's just those are things you're going to upgrade to later to make life not suck as bad. So that's your $2,500 setup. If you can go up from there, just go ahead and get a mini skid, get something. And we build them. Other companies build that similar kind of Ford Ranger size. I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I don't promote guys to go into debt to get into this business, but honestly, the margins are so good. If you've got $5,000 to put down, you're only financing a few $1,000s. Just get something that you, Justin, how long in this business does it take to make $4,000 and pay off them? And then you've got a piece of equipment that's going to last you a couple of years, and it's like 10x the efficient. Now, I'm not going to go 40K in debt, and I know what people are going to say. You're just trying to get people to buy. No, I don't care. I'm just telling you. You would thank yourself later and just go ahead and do that. So if you can get around a $10,000 number in your head, get you a mini skid, be done with it. You've got a pressure wash system, soft wash system. It's all on one unit. It's really nice. If you can go up from there into that kind of $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 range, you can get a really nice Alumimax Pro right there. That one right there, something like that. Some variant of that. The prices are going to be different depending on what options you add. And then you're getting up around 20 something grand, $25,000, you're getting into trailer territory. And so some guys, that's going to sound like a lot of money. Some guys, they know that's like normal. It's still weird to me to say that our trailer is that expensive because in my mind, it's still 2020, right? And I'm like, well, our trailer is X amount. It is not. Supply chain and inflation have made everything get a lot more expensive. So just a few years ago, our mini skid was like $8,500, and now it's over 10. But it's just the way the earth is now, guys. So we've got to adapt, make sure you're charging your customers the same margin on the back end so that you can justify these purchases. You can't buy equipment in 2022, 2023 and price like it's 2017, man. It ain't. You got to adapt, and you've got to be mobile in your numbers as well.
Absolutely. And especially when you have the ability to land $30,000, $40,000 commercial jobs, you can pay off the rig in one go. As long as your marketing is right, this investment will pay dividends, especially since, like you said, Cody, the margins are so high. Awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing everything with us. Last thing before we go, if anybody wants to build a rig themselves, we actually just put together a course. Cody, you want to tell them a little bit about the course we put together?
Yeah, so it's been in the works for a little while since we're the world's largest manufacturer of that kind of stuff right there. We said, hey, there's a lot of guys that they just simply can't afford it. So we're going to save you some money. I know you still want to get into the industry. You still want to, get out there and get going, and maybe you can't spring for a turnkey rig. We get tons of requests for guys that want to build their own rig, and they'll call and they're kind of wanting to buy something small to get us on the phone and then ask us 1,000 questions about putting their rig together. And guys, it's not that we don't want to help you. It's just we can't stay on the phone all day and answer tons of questions about that kind of stuff. So what we did is we just put it into a course. It's pretty in-depth. Justin came over. We shot all the content, edited it up. It's been in the works for several months, and it's pretty killer. It's a pretty killer course. So having built over 1,000, I definitely know what we're talking about. We go from trailers, skids, material selection, tank setup. We talk about water vortexes and water purification and filtration and lots of things that are super The course has probably got more info in it than you really need, but of course, we're going to over deliver. That's what we do at the Core 4. We always over deliver.
Absolutely. So I'll be sure to leave that. That'll be the first link in the comment section and description if you guys made it this far in the video. Cody, every guest that comes on the channel, I speak the word of the day. What would you like the word of the day to be, man?
Word of the day? I don't know. What's a good word of the day, Justin?
Could be simple. Could be like equipment or anything, really.
Air compressor.
Air compressor. If you made this far in the video, comment down below air compressor, and I'll hashtag y'all a real one. We had a ton of questions. I'm sorry, guys, but we had to kind of jam this one in. Me and Cody are going to do another live and answer a bunch of questions and show y'all some more cool equipment. So if y'all enjoyed it, definitely hit the thumbs up button for me. But until next time, I'm actually going to leave Cody. I'm going to leave links for all of Cody's stuff that he showed you guys in this video. So if y'all are interested in getting any of that, check that out down below as well. But my name is Justin, forever self-employed. Until next time, also hard. Get that money, baby.
Get that money, baby.
Later, you guys.